Hello, welcome to Goth Mother's reselling adventure. Although I'm not sure I'm a reseller, I am someone who is posting a bunch of stuff that I own up on Poshmark and eBay. So I've just been kind of recording my adventures sporadically over the last couple of years. And I know I just made a video a couple days ago, but I wanted to do an update to that video because it was sort of I didn't have resolution to some of the things I was trying to figure out in that other video. So I'm hoping that you can hear me okay. So what was happening in my last video was that I was trying to use the ListEasier app, and I ran into a problem with eBay not accepting the listings, and it was based on the photographs, and it was saying I'm using two different types of photographs, a self-hosting and an eBay hosting, and I don't know what the hell that means or how that happened or what the problem is. And so a few days ago, I did filled out the form on ListEasier and asked for advice. What do I do? What's happening? What am I doing wrong? And that was, I believe, Tuesday. I contacted them, and today is Sunday, and not a peep, not an email. I keep checking my junk folders and stuff. So they still have not replied to me, whether they just don't care or I'm just a little person with just a little plan. I just had the little $15 plan, not the big exciting plan. I'm not stupid. I'm not, I don't think. And so if they are just trying to figure out why I'm having this issue, they haven't told me that either. The only thing I got from them was when I sent in my I filled out their little form, and then I got the pop back that said, yes, we've received your message and we'll get back to you in 24 to 48 hours. And it's been a lot longer than that. And I know, like I said before, I know this is run by a couple of YouTubers who also do reselling. Um, and then this is their little brainchild. They've been eBay sellers for a long time, and they're doing this. But customer service is a good thing, and I'm actually disappointed in the lack of customer service. And yes, I could reach out to their YouTube channels and ask them directly, but I feel like now I'm at a point where I want to see how long it'll take for their customer service to actually reply to this form, because a lot of people who might use this product may not know about all these YouTube channels and directly contacting these people. So I just want to see, just for the average person who just randomly bought this thing and is encountering the same problems I am, how long it's going to take to find an answer, and if there is an answer at all. So in the meantime, you see what a beautiful, gorgeous day it is today. So I'm going to get my ass out on the balcony and photograph more comics. I have hundreds of comics, Mad magazines, heavy metal, and stuff like that. Avengers, the Hulk, Spider-Man. I read all that stuff as a kid, all of it, and I love comics and comic books and Mad magazine and all that. But now I'm at a point where super downsizing. The kids don't want this stuff, and so I'm just finally, after being on eBay and Poshmark for many years, I'm just biting the bullet and getting it done. Because it's time consuming. It's hard. It's funner to do things like clothes or whatever. Maybe not. I don't know. So anyway, my last video, I was starting to discuss some of the ways I'm trying to deal with all this, and I'd hoped ListEasier would be the magic solution everybody else is crowing about, but it's not the magic solution for me. And of course, with ListEasier or any program you're using, you still have to take all those pictures yourself, as far as I know. Unless you got one of those robot people to come and take them, I guess. But they'll take 2 hours to take one picture. No, I'm just kidding. I watched the Daily Show the other day where they were spoofing our new robot overlords, how it took like an hour to load the dishwasher or whatever it was. Anyways, we're still back to the same thing where no matter what platform you are on, you have to take the pictures. You have to unless you're on Poshmark, you don't have to do this part, but you have to measure how much how much the shipping will be. You have to measure the height, length, width, and the weight of your product, and you have to know what you're selling, and you have to do comps. You have to figure out what you're going to sell it for. ListEasier does not make up a price for you, and I don't know of any products that do. Maybe there are some in the States. I'm in Canada. We're very limited with what products we can use. And so I haven't explored that many products, if there are any actual AI products that will price things for you. So now what I've been doing after my disappointment with my ListEasier experience, and of course I'm not giving up on them forever, just waiting, because ListEasier definitely needs some more work before it is really ready to actually run successfully for most people. I'm sure the people that are in specific niches are having a heyday, because I see videos, oh, I listed, thousands of things today and now I'm rich. And that's, yay, good for you, but that hasn't been my experience with the few things I've been trying to do. So how I've been tackling my situation is, okay, I have my notes so I don't ramble on too much. So I've just gone back to the Poshmark AI listings, and they rolled these out way back in the spring, and I must say that app is better and better and better all the time with the AI listing portion of it. Obviously, it still makes mistakes, it still hallucinates, but not as bad as the ListEasier. ListEasier has massive hallucinations, tons of gobbledygook you have to erase. It won't even tell you the right product half the time. It'll just make up what you think. You put a book down, they tell you it's a watch or whatever. Anyway, so Poshmark's AI program is getting better and better at not doing that. It hasn't done that for me in ages, and maybe it's because I've been doing a lot of comic books. But also, I believe, like, you train the AI, the more you use it, it gets used to what you're trying to do. And then Poshmark has changed their AI app a little bit. I think this is the fourth or fifth change I've noticed on it, how it looks and how it's behaving, and it's definitely improving. So I will take all my pictures for Poshmark and upload them, and it's really fast. And it almost 90 about 90% of the time now it will get the title absolutely correct. Now and again it'll screw up and just make up something. But like, I'm really pleased with how accurate it is getting with just saying what the comic book title is. With it, it's wonderful. And then I fiddle with my pictures, so I'll download everything to the AI portion of Poshmark, usually about 10 pictures. For the comic books, I've been doing 10 pictures for all of them, keeping it consistent just in case I ever. Although, once I post things, I'm not going to go back and repost with ListEasier, but I'm training myself just to do 10 pictures for the comic books in case ListEasier gets its act together. So I'll do the 10 pictures and then upload them. I do it on my phone, so I take the pictures on the phone. I upload it to the AI on the phone. And I'll tell you again, I've said this in several videos now, don't bother trying to change the title or anything when you're in the AI portion of the Poshmark. Just let it manipulate through. Add your category, your price, and your little SKU. Like for me, it's like what box I'm putting all this stuff in. So put that stuff in and then upload it super fast. Then go into your then what I do, either on my phone or on the computer, I'll go in again. I usually do it on my phone because I already have the phone in my hand from when I just uploaded, right? So then I'll go in, once it's in my closet, then that's when I'll edit the title, and I'll take out the AI description that's fluffy, and then I'll put in, the pre-owned, some wear and tear, whatever it says. And then I double check the pricing and stuff, and it's done. It takes seconds. And then once I've done a few of those, then now I'm doing I did buy the PrimeLister Cross listing service a couple months ago, but I paying for something I wasn't really using but now I'm really using it, and it's worth every penny. That thing is magic. It really is. I know I was using Cross Magic Listing before when I just had a few things, but now I'm actually paying for this PrimeLister Deluxe because the one of the features I want on this is that if I sell something on eBay or Poshmark, it'll take it off automatically, so you don't have to comb through all your listings to see if it took it off or not. It'll take it off. And so far it's been accurate, but then again, I've only sold a couple of things. And I still haven't sold anything on eBay. So I'm looking at my notes here. So, yeah, so I let it ripple through, and then I do the cross listing on PrimeLister. So with the cross listing on PrimeLister, I have to go on my desktop. So I open up my Poshmark, and then I click on a couple of things that I want to cross list. Then I go into the cross listing, like there's, what do you call it, an extension, and there's a little arrow thing that'll always be on your desktop. So you click the arrow thing, and then you click cross list, and then it'll pop up where do you want to cross list it to, and there's like 20 choices if you have 20 stores, but I just want to cross list to ebay.ca. See, I'm in Canada, and so we don't get all the apps that you guys like other places might, but these are what work excellent in Canada. So Poshmark Canada to eBay Canada. So I'll click the which ones I want to cross list. Then you give it a few minutes for the cross listing magic to happen. It's very fast. And then the magical part is eBay recognizes the listings. It doesn't come up and say, oh, your photos are wrong, or we can't do this. And then you spend an hour trying to figure out what you know. eBay lets it all in. It's magic. It recognizes the listing. So then you just, and since I'm doing all the same thing, I have my little cheat sheet of my how big those comic books, like the shipping information. So I just takes me like a second on my desktop to click and like 100 grams, whatever. Ding 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 ding. I double check that it's gone into the correct category, both the category on eBay and then the category in my personal store, Goth Mother's Closet. There's hardly any times I have to make corrections, but sometimes, like I had a submarine comic, so it thought I was selling watches or something. So I just had, and there's a few times that'll happen. So just double check that that happened properly, that it went under comic books or whatever. But the more I use it, the less and less corrections I have to make. I think I just did 10 this morning, and I think only one of them had done the store wrong. So it's wonderful. And then every step of the process, whether it's on Poshmark, the Poshmark AI, and that's usually where I do my photos. I tinker with my photos there. Then when I upload it to my Poshmark closet, if there's anything I want to tinker with my photos, I do that there. Again, like if I notice one's upside down that I missed the first time or whatever, I can correct my photos. Then when PrimeLister pops it over to eBay, if I want to tinker with my photos, eBay lets me. I don't get the big, oh, you can't touch your photos. Like everything I've uploaded with Prime AI listing, ListEasier. Everything I've uploaded with ListEasier, I cannot manipulate on eBay. Once it's up, it's up. There's one that's upside down, and it will not let me correct it. So I don't know what that's about. It has the same warning that all those other listings that it wouldn't even let me upload. It has the same thing, that I'm doing two things at once, or I don't know. But I have none of these problems with the Poshmark AI listing and the PrimeLister CrossListing platforms. I can manipulate the photos at any step of the way. I can manipulate my listings. Like I said, don't bother trying to manipulate the listings when you're that first step of the on Poshmark AI, because it doesn't remember them. I don't know why it's still buggy like that. So just let it go, and then once it's in the closet, then edit the title and what you want to say. La 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 la. Oh yeah, and then on eBay you have to put the condition, and like on Poshmark I usually have the condition listed in the listing part anyways of whatever I'm selling. Pre-owned, lightly used, ripped, torn, whatever. So I have kind of like a blanket thing I'm just cutting and pasting with my comic books, because all my comic books are used. Most of them are in, I think they're really good condition, but I've been to, I read tarot cards at Fan Expo. I'm a writer. I go to all these Comic Cons and stuff. So I know how fussy and nerdy comic book collectors are. So I just put down every single comic book, no matter what it is. I say they're all in acceptable condition, some wear and tear, some may have marks, and so on. And I just have a cut and paste thing I put on all of them, whether it's true or not. Some of the comic books actually, I think, are actually in really, really good condition, but I'm not a collector. And then some of them, it's like, yeah, like, there's writing in them, or, it just, they're ripped, or they got waterlogged, or whatever happened over, 30, 40, 50 years to these books. So yeah, so you just and it takes seconds to do that. And then when I'm listing on Poshmark, I'll just go while I'm on my phone. I'll just upload one of the photos to the Google Lens and do my comps that way, and see, But I just have a blanket price of like $10 for my comic books, and then so if I happen to notice that one might be worth a little bit more, even if it's in crappy condition, I'll up that price. But for the most part, I just keep it at $10, and then because I'm always open to offers, and I know some of these comic books are only worth $2 or $3. So if someone wants to offer me $2 or whatever, I'll take it. But I just for the ease of listing fast, they're all $10. And then make me an offer. Make me an offer. We're all good with the offers, right? And so I think that's what I wanted to say about the cross listing and my experiences with these various apps. So the Poshmark AI listing, that's free. That's free as a Poshmark seller. It doesn't cost you a penny to use the AI listing on Poshmark. And like I said, it's getting better and better and better. And the more you use it, the better it performs. And you can manipulate your photos. But like I said, it may or may not give you the title that you actually want to use, but don't bother changing it until you've actually uploaded it into your closet. Then open your closet and then change the title or the description to however you want. And then you do that. And the AI Poshmark listings, I usually just erase. I'm now at a point where I just erase a lot of the descriptions. I think I kept a lot of them up for a long time over the last few months, especially with clothes and stuff. But now I'm just starting to just completely erase it and just put pre-owned or whatever like that. And then when I go to eBay, that people will see that twice, because that'll be in the actual listing that it's pre-owned and fair condition or acceptable condition, I guess is the word I use. And then on the clicky part where you have to put the condition of the product, I have my little cut and paste there as well, where I put some wear and tear and stuff like that, and that takes seconds. And so yeah, I'm pretty happy with this way of doing things. It's still not super fast, but it's not super slow. Like right now, it's okay because I'm doing all the same things. I have a lot more comics to go, so I'm going to be doing that, even though I have a lot of clothes and stuff to also put up. But right now, I just, I've been putting off dealing with these comic books for years because it's such a huge, huge task. I have boxes and boxes of these things, but no one's gonna come and get them if they don't know they exist, right? So So they're not death piles. They're like, oh, I gotta get to it one day piles. Yeah. And that day is today. So yeah, so it doesn't matter what app you're using, you still have to figure out how you're pricing your product. Um, I was watching some newer YouTubers, like resellers, trying to navigate their way through this stuff. So I'm in the game a couple years now, but not a huge person. I only sell a couple things, but um, some of them weren't doing the comps. So they would, and I felt bad because you see them, they're doing those very intricate, going to the thrift store and going through Goodwill. Oh, look at this. And they show you the thing and the price. And, they'll pay like $30 for a coat and think they'll try and sell it for 80 on eBay. But then they realize, no, it's not even worth $20. So my advice to all of you just starting out in the store, look at your comps. Especially these days, I don't know how things were in the past, but people are super fussy. And if there's any pilling, any stains, the zipper doesn't work, there's a button missing, just don't even bother picking it up because you will just get returns. You're just going to spin your wheels. Unless you're a good sewer or you like to fix things. But someone like me, well, I don't buy things to sell. I got enough just hanging out here ready to sell. So, but it did make me sad to see some of these people like paying, a lot of money for used clothes, thinking they can flip them. But Goodwill and Value Village and all those places, all those thrift stores, they've raised their prices so high that it's hard to make a profit right now, unless you have a lot of coupons or connections. So, you're still better off doing garage sales, estate sales, or just going through your house and selling things that you see lying around, especially when you're starting, because the value of things goes up and down all the time too. Like, remember collector plates? Those used to be worth big bucks. I at my parents' estate sale, like I literally gave away hundreds for nothing. Like, just take them, please. And I still have couple hundred here in my apartment. I've been dragging these things around for 30 years. Not sure what to do with them. I don't have, you can see it's a pretty small apartment. I don't have wall space to actually hang these plates. I have some cool ones like Marilyn Monroe and Shirley Temple and stuff. But they sit in boxes. And, if I try to sell them, they're $1. Now, one more thing I just wanted to touch on was this whole promoted listings thing that's happening on eBay. They're starting this new promoted listings situation where if you buy promoted listings, then no matter who clicks on your thing, you will be charged the promoted listing fee, whether the person who clicked on your product actually bought it or not. But if anyone else buys that product, you will be charged promoted listings. So today I removed all my promoted listings that I've had up for a couple months. And quite frankly, I had no traction on them anyways. One of them was like 50 people looked at it over the last 3 months. Like, what's that? Like, doesn't eBay have millions of people? Like, what am I paying for it? Well, I haven't paid anything because nobody bought anything. But yeah, so I've just turned all that off. So they're not helping me anyways, as far as I can tell, because I still have no real sales. I have a lot of sales, like sales going on. I've really dropped the price on a few of my items. So didn't take those off, but I'm not promoting them. If you stumble into my store, you'll see I have a whole little sales rack now. I have a 30% and a 60% area things. It's just like I just want to move them along, and you'll see them on Poshmark as well. And I think, like a lot of resellers, I'll have that thing where it's one price on Poshmark and another on eBay, because I'm always fiddling with prices or making offers on one platform or the other. So, if you're, as a consumer, if you're ever buying from various people on these platforms, Google that product, because I know I'm not the only one. The prices will be different on your different platforms because no one, like on Poshmark, I have over 1,000 items listed. I'm not going through all those items every day to see what I did. eBay, I'm like at 150 or something. I'm getting there. I'm slowly. Now that I was waiting for the dream of ListEasier, making my life easier, but it just made my life super hard. I wasted hours and hours and hours of my life dealing with that nightmare. But now I've kind of figured out this new pattern. It's still not fast, but you know, for me, the longest part is taking all the damn pictures. But right now, the sun is shining perfectly on the balcony, so it'll be good for like where I take my pictures. And I'm just gonna take more comic book pictures today, so I don't have to worry about the wind or hanging clothes and stuff like that. Because I take most of my pictures outside in the natural light. If you go back over my Poshmark closets and stuff, you'll see an experiment. The bathroom, the wall, the door, the bed. But my best lighting is outside, and I kind of set up a little area out there. But of course, I live in Canada. It's not going to be great. I still have to wear my coat to go out there to take these pictures. And I guess once the snow comes, it doesn't really snow on my balcony, but we'll see. Anyways, I meant this to be a shorty, but it's a longie, as usual, because I talk too much. I really, really do. But if any of this was helpful to you, or that you want to hear more, I'm going to try to be a little more I only like to make videos when I have something to say. I don't want to be one of these every day. I'm on 3 times a week just rambling on about nothing. But I feel like these are, good steps for people who are just trying to learn things or navigate things, especially in Canada, because we don't have the same opportunities, and we all want to get faster and better and sell more. Right now, I know everyone's not doing very well, and I think it's related to what's happening in the States. People don't have a lot of extra money, and then of course Canada isn't selling to the States really through eBay and stuff right now, because everything's up in the air with these tariffs, and that they removed the de minimis, which I talked about in another video, and all this stuff. But there's a whole world out there to sell to. And so if you're in the States, you definitely have a huge market now, because nobody from other countries is selling to the States. It's just the States selling within the States, which is exactly what your president wants, right? So you guys have a huge market because you have no competition from any of the other countries. And then the rest of us in other countries, we're just doing what we can because we can't sell to the States. Well, I know some people do. Some people want to deal with the customs and the tariffs, and I have no patience for that. I'm selling cheap comic books. Yeah, it's not my wheelhouse. All right. Have a magnificent day. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And this is your goth mother wishing you a happy November. Are you as weirded out by the time change as I am? I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I'm all confused. I'm tired. I don't know what's happening. But we got an extra hour to list. So yay us, right? Bye.